to look at on this tape here. We're going to start with defense today, which I never do. So this is the first play. We're just going to look at Rasul. And this is the kind of stuff where you see the safety comes down and Mac Jones, he has the slant on. So the safety comes down. And this is the tough part. You're putting, and this is about being a quarterback. If you're going to do this, you're going to bring that safety in the box. Obviously, you're on the 20-yard line. You just followed a turnover. You're going in. What are we thinking? Usually, if you were further back, you're thinking shot play, but you're already in the red zone. So here, it's a run the ball. You're going to attach some sort of quick pass to it in case the safety comes down. Mac Jones has a good read right here. Safety comes, and just Rasul just gives him a really – the receiver gets a lot of separation here for a quick slant, right? You're up 3, quick slant over, makes a good play. You know, he's like a shoestring away from making a touchdown there. You don't want to see that. You see we come in here, Rudy Ford. On the next play in, I believe this is a run. And we just like the aggressiveness, right? Rudy Ford is in the game. I know he had a couple picks last year, particularly because I remember the ones against Prescott. But Rudy Ford's in the game because the kid can tackle, okay? And he's triggering on the tight end block here. And you just love that he fills this hole. And then you see the corner coming over. We see the receiver trying to come down and crack. He does get a good crack on him later on in the game. But he comes down, tries to get that crack, and we get it replaced from the corner. But playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage, that's why I like Rudy Ford. He's a physical presence in the run game. It's a big deal. I think it's a big deal for the Green Bay Packers. We go here under center by Mac Jones. Look at the play action. This is a second down play. Scrambles, gets the slide. Good job covering up the defense. Nixon's having a little issue over here. We're having some communications problem, but they end up figuring this stuff out. But we go under center. This is a second down play. And you'd love to see, I mean, this is exactly why you go under center. For fans out there, you go under center play action because it really does stop the rush. And so we see Wyatt, I think, over the left guard, push by, but we're not going to really, if we're being honest, the ball should be gone. We're really not going to call this a pressure. Mac ends up running using that great athleticism we saw at Alabama. Got a 2x2 here with an attached tight end. You got Devontae Parker in the corner. I know Devontae from Miami, first-round draft pick from Louisville, I believe. Real talent. Only the last couple of years, things started coming together for him for whatever reason. Wasn't happening like he wanted to in Miami. Gets the call here. This is a third down play, though. I wanted to show this again. Wyatt in particular. It's like, who's going to create that second rush? And TJ Slayton's been playing great. He played great again for his snaps in this game. He's going to get doubled here, I believe. Wyatt's got left guard one-on-one. And just from a body position standpoint, this is kind of where you have to learn how to develop and grow. And maybe this is what they're being coached. I don't know. But I played this position. I coach this position. I work with guys all the time. If you are in this position after your first or second step, the game's over. Right? Like, I'm going to block you 100 out of 100 times. You might get around me eventually, but if we're just talking, I want to pressure the quarterback and get him off a spot. You are not going to do it with your hands outside, giving up your chest, having handlebars on your chest, running right into the guard on your second step. You have to create an issue, again, where we talk about, you need to get me off my rhythm. You need to get to my real estate spot or change the positioning so I move in a way that I don't want to. This is too easy. And these are the opportunities if you really want to be a dominant player in this game. Warren Sapp didn't make a single pass rush easy, right? You might trick him every once in a while, flash your hands. He drew his chop club grip and go, oh, what do I do? But every single rush, you were like, oh, my God, here it comes again. John Randall, oh, my God, here it comes again, right? These guys are different because they play your edges all the time. You can't play down the middle like this. So I think they pop one in here in the run game. Okay. A couple series later, we're under center again. And this is what we're starting to do. So we started to do this a little bit last year. You're going to slant around on the front, and then obviously your linebackers are going to fill from the second level. So everyone's got a gap. So right now, if you're looking at this, every single gap should be filled by a safety, a linebacker, or a defensive lineman. And what happens is when Enagbari and they slant down to the left here, and then you got both of your excuse me, you have both of your linebackers are going to slant over. What ends up happening sometimes is if the corner or anybody gets rooted out here on the right side of the screen, then all of a sudden Isaiah he's scraping tight, but there's way too much space there. So now he's got to make a really good play here just to make this tackle. Is he coming a little too tight? Not really. You'd like to come inside out here, outside in. But if you come outside in, then obviously what happens is that running back runs straight downhill and you try to make an arm tackle on the outside in. So he's doing what he's supposed to. This is just a tough play. Good run. He ends up missing that that tackle, slows the guy down. They get a couple yards. But those are the kind of things they're going to work in order for it to happen. You have to be able to hit that whole square, maybe a step wider, and so you can make that tackle in the box. You're in the hole, even though that hole is like 4 yards wide. So the corner, the safety needs to crash down a little bit better. But really, McDuffie, he's coming so tight and he's coming so fast downhill. Trying to redirect is difficult. Now we get the crackback. This is the kind of stuff. So Rudy Ford is a physical player. They're going to play him in the box. They're going to play him closer to the line of scrimmage. The closer he is to the line of scrimmage, in my opinion, the better he helps this defense, right? If you can play single high for a lot of time because you got Jair, because you feel good about Rasul, etc. Okay. You cannot have this happen to you. If you're a safety and you see that wide receiver, you cannot get blocked like this. Period, point blank. You have to attack the wide receiver. You're not trying to skirt through there and just kind of try to beat him. You see that guy coming, you're the hammer. You have to take this block on. You have to fill your gap. You can't get pushed through. You're putting the corner in a really bad spot here. One, this isn't a great play for him either way. But two, I remember against Stevenson, who's a really good running back. But two, realistically, that's a really hard angle. Like if anybody's ever tried to make a tackle, you got a guy running straight up and down the field, north and south, and you're coming from east or west. Like that's a hard tackle, especially against one of these big running backs. Now, I put this on here. Welcome to 2023 NFL. This is Bill Belichick's football team, right? I know Bill O'Brien's running the offense, but this is Bill Belichick's football team. You have 5 down linemen, 6 in the box. We could say, or is the safety near, blah, 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 blah. Okay, you have 7 blockers. There's 2 tight ends in the box, 7 on 6. Okay. Plus, you got Mac Jones in a pistol formation, so it looks like they run a read option. What do the Patriots do? They run a damn jet sweep. Are you kidding me? 2023 National Football League. You've got more blockers plus an opportunity to run read option, and we're running jet sweeps out here, man. Welcome to the NFL in 2023. Unbelievable. Shotgun formation. We got 2-3 techniques, 2 wide rushers. Duffy and Walker in the game. Okay. I love this, right? This is just simple. And Anibari did this a couple times. He's playing high level. You know, it looks like he's gained some weight. He's certainly playing with more power on his pads. This is a very easy, one arm is longer than 2, whatever anecdote, whatever, phrase that you like to use when you're talking about pass rushing. Here's what I always look at. We'll go back one more time. So now we're watching the right tackle kick back against Anibari. Okay, when he turns and drops that back foot, he doesn't need to. All right, see, he opens himself up. You get that right hand on that inside pad, and he just does a great job of walking this dude all the way back. I mean, it's just a really, really nice job. He's, completely overmatched, completely overwhelmed there. Talking about City Sal, actually 4th-round draft pick this year. You're going to have to forgive me if I don't know the names of all the Pats guys here. Great rush. That's a rush that's sustainable. That rush is because you got to remember, Anibari, when he came in the league, he ran like I'm going to get this wrong, but I think he ran like a 4.47 40. So it's just like, does he have enough lead in his pencil, right? When you get to that spot, you've already put that person feeling like they're out of rhythm or not in control. When we talk about getting your real estate spot, now, do you have the power to back it up with a play like a stab? And then once you get that stab, what else can you work off it? Like the guy's got a lot of options because of the speed. If he's got a little bit more kind of power behind that first punch, that initial contact, man, you really got something there. So we got the 2 wide threes again. We got Quay Walker in the middle. Same look. What am I doing, Mike? Yep, same look, guys. Great rush. Okay, we're tipping this off a little bit early, so that's kind of the first thing you talk about with Quay kind of tipping this off with Lucas Van Ness downhill. So the offensive line is going to be able to pick this up. This is something when you start talking about all the different people playing safety, we're vying for the starting safety positions. What does that look like? Is it Jonathan Owens? Is it? And then we have Anthony Johnson Jr. We got drafted in the 7th round here. I think he just came. This might be his first play of the game, and he gets spun around like a top here. Now look, for those who don't know, if I've opened my body up to the field of the upfield here, and I see that this tight end, number 85, the New England Patriots have 2 really good tight ends, and of course everyone's slipping my mind right now. But Hunter Henry, sorry, from the Chargers, really good player. Now he pulls kind of a double move and just goes back. He goes post corner here, and they don't connect this ball, but they should. And as a rookie, the one thing you got to know is like, which way do I turn? I want to keep my momentum. So he should just flip his head and keep his running style. Instead, he turns all the way around like that, and now he's beat, right? And so this is a play that could have been for them. So these are big plays that you got to start looking at and going, all right, how do I make decisions on guys based on what we think they can do based on game tape? Right? Truest form of a grading system, like based on game tape. What's happening here? So we'll show it up front here. So Lucas Van Ness is obviously a little bit closer than he usually is. I said this term pre-draft. When he's in a 3-point, I like it a lot better than when he's in 2-point. He's got good leverage either way. He's got good hands. I just think he's better out of a 3-point. So something's up with Quay. He doesn't play that over. Now he shifts all the way over. You've just made this really easy. Like, this doesn't help. Quay's got to understand this because I think they're going to use him. Last year, they started using him a lot on a lot of dogs because it takes a lot of the thought process out and lets young players play fast, right? And then it just gets them more comfortable with the game. And plus, he's really good at it. Okay, but in these situations, you want to really come as tight as you can, and then you can kind of force that tackle to turn like we showed earlier with your physicality or your speed. But if you're going to tip this off early, you just see the right guard, right tackle here. Like, this couldn't be easier now as far as pushing these guys by. Just little things you can work on adjusting, right? You're just a little bit anxious about getting to that hole. So we got our 3 down linemen inside. I think we're going to run a little stunt here in inside zone. Yeah, I really like this. So there's always ways to defeat this and counter, but you look at the left defensive tackle here. You look at left defensive tackle is going to stunt into the A gap, and that really just allows the nose tackle to play off of him and roll into the play here. Beats the right guard inside. They don't have a call on. They don't know that they're going to stunt. If this was an outside zone, they'd be bringing the center, bringing the backside guard. So there's ways that this can maybe you can have a problem running this play. But when you run inside zone, and this is why a lot of teams don't like running inside zone against that jam or that bare front, all you have to do is stunt one guy, and the nose tackle can play over the top, and you always got some kind of issue. Because right here, you can just see this gets gummed up. You take 2, the center gets mauled. And, that's our rookie Wooden coming in and making a really good play right there. Okay, we talked about the secondary with some issues and just trying to figure some things out. So we got a 2x2 look here, and we both jump outside automatically to the outside. So the inside receiver here now has free access to the big G in the middle of the field. Obviously, Isaiah McDuffie is reading eyes here, so he could take either side right here, I'm imagining. You look at this as kind of a very balanced defense. Could he be down the middle more? Yeah, possibly. But the truth is, up top, we've had a miscommunication. This is why it's preseason. These guys aren't necessarily the full-time starters. This is stuff we have to figure out, but ends up being an easy play for these for Mac Jones, just an easy pitch and catch, for a really good pickup. Love the crazy twist here. We used to call this crazy twist. So this is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers used to run this with Sapp and Greg Spires, all those guys. So we're going to get basically 2 TEs, but then the E's, and I don't think they do it on purpose here, but the ends actually end up crossing, I think. Talking about Enigbar and Lucas Van Ness. We got 2 up top, upfield, and they cross through. Now, look, Mac Jones makes a great throw, and this is a great catch. But you just like seeing this. If you're a Packers fan, you go, oh, like this is going to work. He holds it one more second. You got 2 guys hitting the quarterback, and this is a really good job of just running plays. I think the TE game, especially with Lucas Van Ness, and you start thinking about the power, like the speed to power that he goes with, Justin Hollins has been doing this really well since he got here as well. But when you talk about a young player who's going to, let's be honest, like he's going to be fighting for playing time because Justin Hollins is a good player. Enigbar is really stepping up. Rashawn Gary, when he comes back, is a star. And then you have Preston Smith, who's been a very, very, very good starter in this league and for the Green Bay Packers for a number of years now. So it's like, how do you get him on the field? Well, if you're just going to tell him to power, he doesn't have a power rush yet that is good enough to beat a good right tackle in the National Football League. But if you get him moving, if you get a guard that's a little bit off balance, maybe a guy who's not that athletic, you put him down in that 3 technique, you run a TE game where he comes inside, he gets to start picking people on an ET maybe. Like all of a sudden that stuff's really easy because you're basically just a bullet in the chamber, right? Like I got to go hit that guy, deal. I can do that. That's not that hard. Oh, he's not going to be expecting it necessarily. Even better, right? So these are good things. We talked about Quay running the Suns last year. These are a good way for the defensive coordinator to get that player more engaged in the game without having to overthink. Great pitch and catch by the Patriots, but so it goes, right? We got the double wide again. Now we see over here, I think Enigbar gets the left tackle now. And for the life of me, when you first look at this, you're like, how do you get beat? And this is why, this is like, trench warfare stuff, okay? This position, the guards or the tackle, he's up tall, he's showing his chest, his hands are outside. He's already kind of starting to turn towards the line of scrimmage or towards the sideline. He doesn't need to. And right here, he just drops his back foot. And it's almost like, I don't want to sit here and say that most of the guys in the league are teaching this, but they're not preventing. Like if you're allowing this to happen, you might as well be teaching it. So if you open your back foot, if you're watching a game and you see that basically the tackle's feet go in a vertical line like this after their second or third kick, I'm not saying they're going to give up sacks. I'm saying they're going to get beat. And it's just a question of whether or not the quarterback's going to hold the ball because you can't hold up. The next thing is, where does that up foot go? Well, it goes back even further and you've opened up that edge. This is how people beat the edge. If you want to win, you just square. We just don't do a good job coaching it. We allow it. And so good for us right now with the Green Bay Packers because we have 2 guys that I don't think are going to do that. But Anibari gets this guy right here, gets another sack. Great hit. I don't know if they call that a sack fumble. Great play. Absolutely great play. Great effort. And I mean, listen, it's not rocket science, right? He's got speed. He's developing power. He's confident in what he's doing right now. And he's not playing to get like that's not their top guy over at the Patriots. That's not Trent Brown. But Trent's got the same problem. He's just 360 pounds or something like that, but he opens up like everybody else. All right, we got our obligatory. What is the bare minimum? You're trying to get Lucas Van Ness, 13th pick in the draft. Like I think he's got a really hard time finding playing time. I think they're going to play him because he's a good athlete and he's first round pick. But like, I don't think he's playing at the level these other guys are. He's certainly not a Rashawn Gary right now, and that's not a bad thing. That's just the reality of where we're at, right? Iowa kid. I think he's going to be a good football player. What's the minimum? Like, what can he do? Well, he should beat the hell out of tight ends. This is what he should be able to do regardless. Okay, I'm just going to beat the hell out of that guy, throw him like a rag doll, get the guy. I think he. It's like Lucas. If you do that every game, we'll get you 20 snaps. How does that sound? Deal. Right? You're going to run some TEs. I'll give you a couple free rushes. I want you to beat up the tight end every time he's in. How does that sound? Good. I know there's more that goes into the game than that. I like to simplify things and play fast.